in every relationship, there are going to be things that you have to compromise on. When we talk about compromise, we're talking about who's doing the cooking versus who's picking up the baby, right? It's
Right.
compromise on how much time I get to spend with my boys versus how much time you get to be at home with the kids. That's
Mm.
the compromise that we're talking about. The compromise is, okay, we're going to let mom move into the basement for the next couple of months because, dad just died, even though you and mom don't get along. That's compromise. Now, changing your entire lifestyle and potentially, and I know that there's way more to poly than sex, but
Mm.
potentially allowing and accepting and being an active participant in
Mm.
other sexual partners being a part of that lifestyle. If you know that you don't desire that, that's something you cannot give in on, because guess what? If you were the one who desired a poly lifestyle and he didn't, the answer would be, I don't know if I could cuss on YouTube yet. You're bugging. Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. Welcome to the Single Season Show with your host, Allison Wellington, also known as Align with Allison. On this show, we work with our guests to help them navigate the treacherous waters of the single season so that they can get into the healthy, happy, fulfilling relationships that they desire. I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Knox Brand Media, where they offer coaching to 6 and 7 figure millennial entrepreneurs who are looking to take their brands to the next level. And if you watch through the end of this episode, I have some free offers for you, trainings and ebooks that you will be able to get access to once you check out the show notes. We are going to go ahead and jump into our next episode with our guest. Her name is Ace, and like many of us, she is in a situationship. She's in a pickle. She's been dating a gentleman for the last 5 years off and on, and she's having a hard time letting go. So we want to go ahead and invite Ace right on to the show. And so Ace can give us some background, give us the tea on what is going on in her relationship. So Ace, can you hear us? Are you here with us today?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. You look beautiful.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. So
yes,
do
yes.
you.
Thank you, thank you. So, Ace, I gave a little bit of a background. I shared with the audience that you were with the gentleman for the last 5 years off and on, and you're struggling with letting go, you're struggling with moving on. So, can you give us the background? How did you meet this guy? You don't got to say his name. How did
Okay.
you meet, and what's the issue? Why can't you or the two of you sustain a healthy relationship?
That's a great question. Okay, so we met. It'll be 5 years next month, right? We met online. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know, but he was, persistent, and we went out, had a good time. Um, Actually, one of the better dates that I've been on with, an online date. Um, Lots of laughs, lots of talking, conversation. I asked up front, like, oh, what are you looking for? Like, what do you want? I knew I wanted to be married. So I'm like, okay, are you looking to, get married? And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. But he had just moved to my city from his city a month or two before that for a job. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, okay, in my mind, I was like, this may or may not work. Are you trying to move back home kind of thing? Or are you here, for the long haul? And he said, that depends. So I'm like, okay. He did have two kids. Like I have two daughters. He has two sons. They're right around the same age. So I kind of saw that as maybe like a pro and a con. Like maybe you want to get back to your kids, or, maybe we could blend this kind of family thing together. Um, as time went on, he we hung out a lot. Like we went out a lot, dating a lot. Um, our first sign of trouble was probably, I'll say, maybe 3 or 4 months into us talking, and he kind of just disappeared on me, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, where did you go? And he's like, oh, well, I got busy with work, and it's nothing that, not you, it's me kind of thing. We end up going out to dinner, and he's like, I have some work events that I may need a date for, would you like to, accompany me? I'm like, absolutely, sure. Those things never happen. Um, I'll speed up a little bit and say that that is a theme in
Mm-hmm.
this situationship. Is like there's a lot of things that he'll say we'll do, or let's do this, let's do that, and they just never happen. um and so after that, I said, okay, well, let's figure this out. And then he disappeared on me again. And I'm like, you know what? This is crap. This is
Mhm.
this is
Mhm.
crap. So I started dating again. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go out, and I was like, I'm single. I'm just gonna start dating again. And so I did. And then he called, and we kind of got into like this big blow up. And I don't want you seeing anyone else, kind of thing. And I told you I was working, which is another common theme with him. As I told you I was working, and I'm like, I get like this is like a really big job for you, and this is you're successful, and you're working a lot, but what does that leave time for me? And if in the long run you're saying I'm who you want to be with, then how do we this your job isn't going anywhere, so how do we come around that? um I slept with someone else, and I told him because I'm honest, which I probably shouldn't have been as upcoming and honest, of forthcoming and honest,
We'll
but
we'll
I
talk
did.
about that, Ace. I'm taking mental notes. Keep going.
So I did, and that honestly, I can tell you that that probably tanked the relationship more than I thought that it would.
Mm.
I didn't realize like that was a big deal. But I could tell even after like we were like trying to course correct with him working a lot and this and a third, that there was like a wall that was absolutely put up. And so, I tried to fix it. We, went back and forth. COVID hit, and he was still, here. Sometime during COVID, he got a promotion and was able to move back home. And we decided to, keep the lines of communication open and still talk and whatnot. And in my mind, I'm hopeful that this is going to work. But I realized at some point that he had been seeing other people, and that it was not just me that he was interested in. It was not just work that he was busy with. Um,
The whole time, or after you slept with the other gentleman?
I honestly, I venture to say the whole time, but especially because like the pattern has been consistent. After you hone in on the pattern, you're like, oh wait, let me look back and think. Yeah, you were like this the whole time, and he was. And so I don't. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I hear you saying you're working, and he has a big job. Don't get me wrong, it's a big job, but it's not that big. It's not that big for someone that wants to be in a relationship with
Yes.
somebody, for someone that wants to get married. It's not that big. And so now I'm just like, we've like I've had conversations with him where I'm like, we've known each other for almost 5 years at this point. You should be able to be honest with me about anything. He went out of town recently, and I was like, can I be candid here?
Yes, yes,
Like,
please.
he said, I said, you should be able to tell me anything. You went out of town. Did you sleep with someone else? And he's like, no. And I'm like, did you sleep with someone else? Like, sleep with someone else. You may not have had sex with her, but did you let her suck your dick? Like, is there?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay.
He had
At
sex with
this,
that girl. He had
he said it
full
again.
on nasty hotel sex with that girl.
And
But
that's how
okay.
I feel. I personally feel like that. But I'm like, if that's the truth that you think that I can accept, okay. But I don't, at this point, I feel like there's no more damage that you can do. We've been
Or
through
you
this.
can do, because you also slept with someone else, in all fairness. So there's
That
no more
is
damage that either one of us can do. Accountability, accountability,
that is
accountability.
true.
But go
I'll
ahead. Mm-hmm.
take that. But there seems to be where we can't like have this honesty thing, and I honestly want to move forward. I'm not looking back. There have been like where I just for I don't know how long, like I just haven't slept with anyone else. And I'm like, okay, well, let's, see if this is what's keeping us apart kind of thing. And I don't think that it's that. I think that it's just he doesn't want to be in a monogamous relationship. He's mentioned something about like polyamory before, and I'm like, I'll be honest with you, Ellison, and I was like, well, I'll try it. If that's what you want, then I'll try it. And I felt like a piece of me kind of almost died when I said that, because it was like, that's not what I really want. But if that's what you want, like I really do want to be with you, I'll try it.
So I have to interrupt you here. Ace. We cannot give in to entire lifestyle changes in order to be the person that our partner is asking us to be or desires or whatever. Now, of course, in every relationship, there are going to be things that you have to compromise on. When we talk about compromise, we're talking about who's doing the cooking versus who's picking up the baby, right? It's
Right.
compromise on how much time I get to spend with my boys versus how much time you get to be at home with the kids. That's the compromise that we're talking about. The compromise is, okay, we're going to let mom move into the basement for the next couple of months because, dad just died, even though you and mom don't get along. That's compromise. Now, changing your entire lifestyle and potentially, and I know that there's way more to poly than sex, but potentially allowing and accepting and being an active participant in other sexual partners being a part of that lifestyle. If you know that you don't desire that, that's something you cannot give in on, because guess what? If you were the one who desired a poly lifestyle and he didn't, the answer would be, I don't know if I could cuss on YouTube yet. You're bugging. Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. Clearly, you're familiar with me. My name is Allison, certified dating and relationship coach. And I'm sure you've seen all of the testimonials on my TikTok, on my Instagram, the engagements, the weddings, the babies. And I help my clients bring their goals to fruition through my 6-month coaching program, The Partner You Deserve. In that program, I help my clients to learn how to navigate dating, both online and offline, as well as to work on becoming the best versions of themselves so that they are demanding the partners that they deserve. This is what I need you to do. I want you to think about all of the struggles you've had in the past. You are 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and you haven't gotten this relationship shit right. This is what I need you to do. I need you to book a consultation call so we can talk about how I can help you to be found by the partner you deserve, and let's work together so that I can get you the rings and tings. Have a good one. It would have
Yeah.
been, you're bugging.
Yeah.
And how dare you? And that's a slap in the face, and that's a personal insult to me. And does that mean that I'm not sexy enough and I'm not desirable enough? And isn't my ding-a-ling enough for you? It would not work at all. But so many times, women they desire so much to be whatever that partner wants them to be, that they're doing threesomes, they're doing poly, they're doing things that they would never dream of doing, that they don't desire to do for themselves. And that's something that you can never give in on unless you desire it. And then that's not giving in. It's you being an active, happy participant,
No.
right?
No.
So now let's take a couple steps back. So I want to be absolutely clear. When you say you guys were off and on, what does on mean? Does on mean, hi, mom, this is my girlfriend Ace? Or is on mean, we're going out on dates, we're having sex, but we're not in a committed relationship?
The latter. I've never met his family. It's been 5 years. I've never met his family. He's met mine. Like I've taken him around. And at first it was like it wasn't a big deal because it was like he was here. And his family obviously is in another state. And so like I'm taking him to family things like birthday parties, whatever, summer events, hanging out with my friends, going to games, all the things, right? And I didn't think of it as a big deal until later, where I was like, wait a minute. And I asked, and it became a point of contention. And I'm like, I'm not. You've met my kids. Like, it's not. I don't understand this. Um, but I'm honestly talking about this is like it's a lot because when you think about investing 5 years with someone and then realizing like, oh shit, it hasn't gone anywhere. Um, it's kind of hurtful.
Yeah.
It's kind of hurtful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can hear the emotion in your voice. I can hear the emotion just exude from you in your facial expressions, and I just want you to know that you are not the only one who has made the mistake of wasting time with someone who doesn't want the same things as you. You are not the only one. That's how I started Align with Allison. I was dating a gentleman for 4 years. We were committed, but we were dating for 4 years. And when I was asking about next steps, hey, when are we going to buy a property? When are we going to get a shared savings account? When are we going to buy a house? When are we going to get engaged? When are we going to get married? And everything was later, 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 later. And I'm like, nah, I'm too old. 4 years into the game, if you are not showing me appropriate next steps, then there's a disconnect here. Now, I will say this. Perhaps she had the foresight. Perhaps he had the vision. Perhaps he saw what I couldn't see, that we would not have worked. Now, what would have been nice is if he just deaded me. Like, don't have me as your little girlfriend and knowing that you know in your mind and your heart that we're just not an appropriate match. So I'm giving him his kudos, but at the same time, don't string me along. But we are individuals who can make our own choices. And right now is a pivotal time in your life to make that choice. This gentleman, number one, isn't looking for the same lifestyle that you desire. And number two, throughout the years, and this is before the sex, and I'm gonna get on you about the sex part, but even before you had sex with the other gentleman, he was not showing up in a way that you desired. He wasn't taking the appropriate next steps. He was using work as an excuse for him to be disappearing from you. He wasn't introducing you to family. He wasn't showing you, words might be one thing, but he wasn't showing you that he was taking you seriously as a committed romantic partner. So that's all the evidence that you need to know that this is an appropriate match for where I am right now. If I was 22, maybe we could have these fun in this games, but you're not. You're a grown woman with children. You want what's next and what's best, and he's not able to deliver. So as a result, he's an inappropriate match, and you know that, right? The reason why you're calling in is because you want to know how to move on. Before we get to the last part of this issue, which is the moving on part, we got to talk about the sex with the other gentleman, okay? Now, I will say this. You made it very clear that the two of you were not in a committed relationship. So as a result, you did not cheat. One thing that, and I like to be fair to the gentlemen and to the ladies, but I will say this. One thing that gentlemen are notorious for is manipulating the shit out of women that they are not in committed relationships with to make them feel guilty for being intimate with other people when we're not in a committed relationship. So I didn't cheat on you, bro.
Right.
Just like if you were intimate, and he was intimate with another woman, he's not cheating on you. Now, is the right thing to do for you to be honest? Yes, especially if you were still sexually intimate with him. Anytime that you're having sex with someone, they have a right to know who your other partners are because this is their life, right? Awkward or not, together or not, they have a right to know. So this is what I would have recommended, but we already got the spilled milk. Number one, not having sex with the other guy. And not because you were in a half-ass relationship with this dude, but just because if you're sexually intimate with a person, you should be sexually intimate with one person at a time for your health. You don't owe him exclusivity because you're not exclusive, but for your own health and well-being, if you're having sex with a person, it should be one person at a time. Other than that, you don't owe him an explanation. Other than that, you don't owe him that information, as he does not owe that information to you, other than the health element. But if you're feeling guilty or you feel obligated, the obligation is for health purposes. The obligation has nothing else other than that because you wanted more and he wasn't willing to give it. So as a result, he doesn't have a right to make decisions on what you do with your body. Okay, so if there was any kind of layer of guilt or you cheated, that's lies, that's manipulation, that's BS. Just like he did not cheat on you when he got head from this girl. Whatever. No, they had monkey sex. Yes. They it was fun. It was fun and it was good. Probably the first time. All right, we're not going to dwell. Anyway, Ace, point being, how do you move on from this point? So I have a free ebook. It's called Move On Sis. I'm going to send you the link. I have a free training called Break Up to Boot Up. I'm going to send you the link. I'm also going to make it available for those who are watching the episode. It'll be in the show notes. Move On Sis and Break Up to Boot Up. And this is what I tell people, okay? We're going to make this short and brief because you're going to read the book. You're going to do what the book tells you. You're going to watch the training and you're going to do what the training tells you. But these are some key things I need you to do. Some of them you might already be implementing, but it will help. Number one, you need to block, mute, unfollow, unfriend, whatever platforms you guys are on all social media accounts between you and this guy. There is nothing on his social media platform that's going to make you feel better. If he's posting that he's out with his boys, you think, oh my God, he just happy with his boys having a good time. If he posts that he's so sad and alone and where's his baby and Ace left him and oh my God, you're going to be like, well, why wasn't you acting like that when we was together? If he posts that he's with another girl, you're going to lose your shit. So guess what? You do not follow this guy. You do not like this stuff. You don't check it. You don't search it. You don't have a fake profile that follows it. You don't tell your girlfriends to go follow and tell you what's going on because there is nothing on his profile. If he's begging you back, it won't make you feel better. If he's moved on, it won't make you feel better. If he's having the time of his life, he's getting promotions, he's buying a new car. There's nothing on that profile that'll make you feel better. So you need to cold turkey disassociate yourself on social media. I like muting because I don't like anyone to feel like they've hurt me so much so that I've blocked them. I'm going to mute your ass. I don't need to see nothing from your account. That also means you can't search it, though. If you're muting, that means you cannot search because then that defeats the purpose, okay? So full social media online disconnect. Number 2, if you have a relationship with anybody, I know you said you didn't meet the family. If you have friends, if there's colleagues, anyone that you associate with in person, you're going to end those relationships too. Now, if you were friends with the person first, which you said that he moved to your city, so I doubt that, then fine. But if there is a colleague, a friend, y'all go to the same barber, y'all go to the same church, I don't care what it is, all of that's got to be done too. Cold turkey, disassociating yourself from this person online and in person. Number 3, if there is anything in your home that belongs to him, put it in a box, leave it on his porch, ship it through UPS. I don't know. I don't care. You don't need any reminders. The hoodie, the basketball shorts, the brush, the comb, his Bible, the water bottle, any and everything that is his or reminds you, which is the next part, and y'all not gonna like this one, get it out your house. If he bought you a Chanel bag, sell the bag. If he bought you a diamond ring, pawn the ring. Any and everything that reminds you of this gentleman, that's his property or yours, get rid of it. Get rid of it. You don't need any reminders, okay? I want you to start with those 3.
Those expensive boots too?
Sell them. Sell them,
Okay.
get rid of them, and then buy something really nice with them. I don't know what to tell you. Invest, buy some stocks with them, right? Apple always got something coming out in September. You know, the stock is always going to go up. Do something of value with them. Take that money and go on a spa day. Go get your hair done, your nails done. Get a massage from a sexy, muscular man who's feeding you grapes. I don't know. But you're going to get rid of that stuff, get it out of your house. So those are 3. I have 2 more in the free ebook, Move On Sis. I'm going to link it in the show notes, and I'm going to text it to you directly, and in the free training, okay? And once you institute those things and you are consistent, it's going to help to take your mind off of it. And then once your mind is off of him, then your heart will be too. Let's go through that healing process first, and then we could talk about the partner you deserve and joining Facebook groups and coaching and this and that and getting back on the scene. But you don't want to bring in the residual pain, lack of trust, fear that you have from this situationship into a new one. So you have to let this guy go clean. Then you can reposition yourself on the dating scene.
Okay.
Make sense?
It does. It does.
Okay. Ace, what questions do you have? What concerns are lingering? How can I help before we wrap up?
So I have to block him on my phone as well,
Well,
right?
thank you. So you're deleting all photos. I don't care if you look pretty in the photos. You're deleting all photos. You're deleting all videos. You are deleting the text thread. You don't need no evidence. Oh, no, I want to leave this as a screen. Yes, I want to leave this because, I might screenshot this and use this evidence later. There is no later. This relationship is not a relationship and it's over. He cannot deliver what you are looking for. This is the example I like to give. I don't know if you order food from Uber Eats or Seamless or whoever. So I order food all the time, right? When I place my order, I'm waiting for the delivery. Sometimes 30 minutes might pass, 40 minutes might pass, and you look at your phone like, where's my food? You open up the app and it says, no delivery people available. Or it says, order has been canceled with no explanation. You pissed because you sat there, you waited 40 minutes, and now you have no food and you're starting from scratch. This is where we are right now. I don't know why he wasn't willing to commit. I don't care why they couldn't deliver the food. All I know is what I'm looking for. My food is not here. All I know is what you're looking for, a long-term committed relationship that potentially leads to a healthy and happy marriage, is not here and has not been here for 5 years. You ain't even meet his peoples. He not serious.
So what?
So delete the text messages so you don't go back and read them at night and remember the good times. You don't go back and read them at night and get angry all over again. Why are we saving messages from a gentleman that you are no longer going to pursue because he never truly pursued you in the last 5 years? In the beginning, it was cute. So what are we keeping that for? Block all phone numbers, emails, block them on Cash App so he don't send you no couple of dollars so he can get in everything. Block him on everything. It's over, Ace. How are you going to invest year 6? You're going to be
No.
on the single season. All right.
No, I've
So
been trying to quit this for like 2 years and it has not happened.
because you
So
have not instituted what I just told you to do, because you gave me a face when I said sell the stuff, which means there's stuff in your house that still reminds you of him. You gave me a face when I said delete the text messages. That means you got the messages still in your phone and you be rereading them at night getting mad, or you be looking at the photos when y'all went to the wedding, y'all look so nice and handsome. You caught the bouquet, you looked at him, he said, all right, girl. You relive in the past, good, bad, or indifferent. Follow the steps. You will be. I was you, Ace. I'm telling you, this is what I did. This situation is what catapulted my brand and my business and this show. I was you, Ace. Ace was Allison. Allison was Ace. I created this process. I followed the process. I am winning. Happy and healthy marriage to the partner I deserve. You saw my baby? You know my baby? You see my baby on
yes,
Instagram? She cute, right?
beautiful. Yes.
All right now. I'm
I'm so
telling you this works.
I don't want to. He made me miss that time frame, which is another thing that I'm upset about. But it is what it is. Like,
You got 2 beautiful kids.
yeah.
This is your sealing the deal. You're not gonna waste another day, another minute, another hour.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We're ready. We're moving on. That's it, sis. I believe in you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Ace. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So, guys, I hope that you have learned from Ace, from my story. This is a story that's so common where we're holding on to relationships and situationships that are not feeding us, that are not taking us to the next level. Number one, we have to take accountability that we are not slaves. We were not chained up to anybody's wall. We made some poor choices and we stayed in relationships that did not serve us. Number two, how to let go of those things. So if you are in a situation where you are still holding on to the hope that your situation is going to turn around and it has not, guess what? It probably will not. I want you to go ahead and check out the show notes. You're going to download my free ebook, Move On Sis. It's Move On Sis, but if you're a gentleman, it's for you too. I just needed a nice little title. All right, so it's Move On Sis, free ebook. I have the free training from breakup to boot up so that you can process this breakup so you're not bringing in the old baggage from your former relationship into something new and ruining it. You can't be the ruiner. You can't be the person who destroys your relationship. You can't be the one who self-sabotage. We need to heal so that we can reposition ourselves on the dating scene so we can be found by the partner that you deserve. It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Ace, for being on the show. I hope that we all can learn from her experience, from my experience, from so many others. And I hope that you tune in next week for the single season. Have a good one.